Networking. So necessary for a varied and successful career, and yet so difficult to master. Networking is the art of making business connections, whether it be at conferences, dinners, or planned events. Networking requires making a great first impression, one that allows you to display your full enthusiasm and skill. So let's dive into mastering networking etiquette. First, you should of course arrive on time. This is so simple and so effective at giving a great first impression. More than that, arriving on time or even early allows you to fully get a lay of the land before the majority of people arrive. You can get a sense of the space, start understanding the vibe, and meet any event organizers. Next, prepare a few key lines for situations that arise all too often. Sometimes you get stuck talking to just one person for a very long time. This isn't necessarily a bad thing, but if you want to circulate, it can become an issue. In this case, there are a few easy solutions. First, after they're done talking, make one final comment, thank them, and say you don't want to monopolize their time. For example, I totally agree. I think they need to be more aggressive about their marketing. Well, Jenny, it's been lovely talking to you. I don't want to take up all of your time, as I'm sure there's plenty of people you want to meet. Thanks again. It was great meeting you. Simple and breezy. It's important to make one final comment before making your exit. Otherwise, you're talking about walking away right after they finish speaking. This makes people feel as though they might have said something wrong. So be sure to add one more nugget of conversation before heading out. The second solution is invite them to the refreshment table. This is really simple and easy. By inviting them to grab a drink, you seem inclusive, but you're also heading to where a lot of the crowd tends to gather. This way you can engage other people in conversation and eventually move on. Another situation you may encounter is seeing someone you know but whose name you don't remember. Gulp. No worries. It happens to the best of us. If you remember where you met this person, offering those details and politely asking for their name is a great way to show that you care. Something like, hey there, we met at the Conscious Capitalism Conference in Philadelphia. We sat next to each other in that workshop for young entrepreneurs. Forgive me, I've forgotten your name. Could you remind me? It's all right to ask for someone's name. It's a common issue that we all run into, so there's no sense in ignoring it. It's also useful to come up with 3 or 4 easy topics of conversation for when you feel stuck. You can always comment on the venue, the event itself, any of the speakers you're looking forward to seeing, and the food. Be careful not to complain, because you don't want your first impression to a possible connection to be negativity. Besides, you never know who knows who, and you may inadvertently offend someone. Now on to appearance and hygiene. As most of you know, appearance counts for quite a bit. We are judged by how we look, and so it's best to present ourselves as sharp and professional. Nowadays, a lot of events can be more casual. This doesn't mean we can stroll in wearing the same jeans we wore yesterday. You can dress casually and still be wrinkle-free and fresh. If you're in doubt of the proper attire for an event, ask. The term business casual can mean many things, so give a call to the organizers, check online for pictures of their past events, or contact the person who invited you. If none of those lead to a definitive answer, it's best to overdress than underdress. This means wearing a suit jacket and removing it if need be. For ladies not wearing blazers, this could mean bringing a spare set of shoes or more relaxed jewelry. In terms of hygiene, you should of course smell clean and fresh, but steer clear of too much perfume or cologne. People tend to overdo the scents and it can become completely overwhelming. Put the bottle down after one spritz. As for grooming, men should keep any facial hair trimmed and neat, and hair should be clean and brushed. Next, let's discuss the key to perfect eye contact and a great handshake. When it comes to eye contact, a lot of people feel unsure of how much to make. But an easy rule is to follow or mimic the cues you're getting from the other person. The goal is to make the other person comfortable. So if they look at you, look back at them. If they look away momentarily, do the same. It all serves to create a comfortable space. Beware of over-the-shoulder looks. It's tempting to scan the room for other people you might want to meet, but doing it while someone else is talking is disrespectful. When you're in conversation with someone, focus on them. There will be plenty of time for you to circulate. Let's move on to handshakes. Handshakes can feel intimidating. What if your hand feels like a dead fish? What if you have a crazy vice grip? The best way to approach a proper handshake is to extend your right hand, sorry lefties, with your thumb out to the side. Then you meet the other person's hand web to web, folding your thumb gently on the outside of their hand. Give it one firm squeeze and one pump. That's it, as straightforward as it gets. That being said, other people may not have the best handshake. In those instances, work with it as best you can and move on. Last but not least, how to properly introduce yourself. Contrary to popular belief, introducing yourself is never really about you. Sure, you're giving your name and shaking someone's hand, but the art in a great introduction lies in saying less and asking the other person more. You can start a conversation with someone, give them your name, and immediately ask them a question. Asking questions is a huge part of giving a great first impression. Showing your interest and curiosity leaves people feeling fascinating. Give them that gift. A simple, "Hi, I'm Amanda from the McKean Group. So how did you hear about this event?" is a perfectly fine and a reasonable way to introduce yourself and open up the conversation. State your name clearly and slowly. So often we rush through it, and that makes it more difficult for people to remember. Take your time. Remember to ask how, why, and tell me more questions, since they require more than a one-word answer. Final networking pro tips. At some networking events, wearing a name tag is mandatory. Always place it on your right shoulder, since that's naturally where the eye line will land when you reach out to shake someone's hand. Always bring business cards and keep them in a separate, dedicated pocket. You don't want to accidentally give away someone else's card while you scramble to find yours. If you receive someone's business card, snap a quick picture of it on your phone. We all know that card is going to end up in the pocket of your pants in the washing machine, so it's best to capture it on your phone just in case. And there you have it, all the elements you need to become a networking whiz.